everybody. I am really quite excited about this one. I've been working on this for a bit, ever since I saw the team at Graphify provide their open source tool that I think, as a lot of people have seen already, does a phenomenal job of mapping out with a relationship map all the files in a certain repo so you can see how they're connected. That's really cool. But the coolness aside, it's got a very functional layer. It's got the ability to allow your coding agent, Codex or Cloud Code, to go in and skim through it like that without reading all the files. It sees the connections. It's terrific. It's a wonderful token saver. And what I'm going to do is walk you through what I did as a slight modification. And by slight, I mean some major bolt-ons. It's such a powerful tool, and I appreciate the team at Graphify for making this open source. This got me down a rabbit hole. To me, when I see information layers, data turned into an information layer, I want to figure out, okay, well, how do I take that and turn that information then into knowledge? Because when you look at the spectrum of data, you go from data to information to knowledge to wisdom. And we've got lots of data. You can go through, you can pull up any of your repos, and you've got hundreds of files with up to 10,000 possible lines of code, maybe beyond that. So you've got lots of data points. Graphify turns that into information, and that information is then easily traceable. What I'm trying to do is turn it into knowledge. And the knowledge is where are the gaps, where are the multiple important overlaps, where are things able to be taught so that it's more efficient. So I'm going to go through and I will switch over. Oh, sorry, got another build going on there. This is what Graphify looks like on a single repo. And I picked a mid-size repo on purpose just for while we're doing this, because we're going to step through with complexity as we go. It starts out as an overview, and it just tells you, here's your big folders, describes it out. That's cool. Tests, again, describes it out. And then you click on the evidence tab, and that shows you. And then you can highlight your physical connections, which this already has, and you click on a node and it brings up exactly what that's all connected to. So when you start to get into a bit of a spider web like this, you can see where it's all connected. And this particular version that I've created gives you as much of a decision-making tool, I guess, a decision-making thought process as possible. To be back on script here, because now I know as I'm wandering through this, I get a little excited when we've built things and hopefully improved it so that other people can use it. So again, here's what this looks like at its simplest. One repo, one graph. I ask it a question, it gives me the relevant slice, and I get to work. For a single project, this is awesome. Now, I would say that most of us don't only have one project. If you look at my folder, my GitHub, I believe I've got 28 on the go, which, yes, that may very well be a psychological disorder, may not be. I'm not here to judge, and neither should you. What happens when people want to see multiple folders all brought in together, multiple repos, is where people have been layering in Obsidian. And I think it's wonderful. And it does fill a slightly different set of functions than just this does. However, Now I'm going to walk you through the whole workspace. What I did was you go back here and on the scope tab lets you pick the folders that you want. It does have a hard limit of, I think I coded in 10,000 nodes, mostly because it's just an incredibly busy and it would probably be quite taxing. Any AI thought process that I put into here, I have running on local models. So when you look here, this is what you get greeted by when you open this. And it shows you what you've got. I've got 8 local models running and it's designed to automatically step up as it needs it. And if for some reason or another it can't manage it locally, I've connected I believe I connected Claude to this one, and it'll just run it off of the big boy LLMs. So I go in here to the scope, and when you think about it, part of that node limitation is because, well, there's a lot of files and folders in here. So I gave it also an importance criteria. Something that's an anchor, something that's an interface, something that's an important connection, node. Some of them get hidden, the smaller ones, the ones that are, every single repo is going to have them, so we know it, and that kind of thing. Back to the scope. It'll pull this open. And I'm going to select a couple where, oh, actually, you know what? We're just going to go big. The way I sort my folders is it comes out as code, and that's basically my projects. Anything that's being built by agentic code. And it's got agents, applications, it's got tools, and a number of other things underneath it. So they all kind of keep in parallel. And it's got websites, and it's got a specific category for websites with embedded tools, like my guided AI journey.com comes with a website as basically a shell, has a couple of functions, but then you get into tools. Anyway, I will go through here and we'll look at applications. Down at the bottom, generate the map, shows you it's working. I know, I picked the glowing nuclear symbol because I like the the drama of it, I guess. And while we wait for that, I guess another clarification is that you don't necessarily need your whole drive. However, you can if you want. What I could have done is I could have elevated this right up to the C drive. And if it's at the C drive, then you can select, although it just takes a little longer to populate the workspace folders. Again, not particularly sure that that's a big deal. The next build or the next addition modification to this is I want to be able to take this and use all of my business school, all of my risk assessments, risk analysis, the whole folder of business intelligence inside my AI company, and then we can figure out learnings from there, which again, Graphify, I love how well it's done that. Here's the overview. These are the folders in this underneath the main folder of applications. So I've got a PDF approval flow build that I've done. I've got user AI operating system. That is the operating system of my agentic life. Fair, and I can walk through all of them and it shows connections. This is wonderful. But here's where the magic happens. Now I can see cross repo physical connections. And quite frankly, I'm more than a little pleased with this. I kept it so that it labeled them, and you can see, for instance, here on these root files, there it shows your connections and where they all go. Now you have, where do I have overlaps? Where can I use a particular structured file, and where can I get knowledge from this? While this is loading again, I'm not pretending like this is lightning fast because I am running on local LLMs on purpose. I also added the AI assistant so you can ask it questions. Kind of just an excellent little add-on. Now, that being said, the layers that are there and the features that are attached, so I'll just walk back through so you can see clearly. If you did have the time and the processing power to do it locally, you could pull up your whole drive and you could probably glean out some really good information, I would think. But on here, I've got back to the command. This is the first screen, doesn't have much to do with the graph. It's just an attention list. Pending recommendations, untriaged overlaps, whether the graph is even fresh enough to trust, because it doesn't constantly refresh. You will have to figure out, well, as I said, that it refreshed. Wonderful. It's like it's listening. It's like social media. It's listening. So here's merge backend docs, 76 overlapping nodes it found. Consolidate AI bootstraps, 771 overlapping nodes. This is new. I'm going to challenge that. I think that the bootstrapping ties back to my new build agent, and that's where that lives, I think. Invest in front end for integration and growth. Now we're talking. This is genuine insight. Front end project area aligns with current investment priorities, providing a strong opportunity to enhance integration. Excellent. Identify low leverage project areas for archival. Absolutely what I was hoping to get out of this. Now I can say, all right, basically that's a polite way of saying, why don't you get rid of the early things you did that aren't that good? Archive inactive or low leverage areas, equally polite way of saying that. To me, this is just fantastic. And then again, I showed you the criteria table. We'll come back to here, but I'm going to change the scope again. And I'm going to take one that I think is actually really quite big. Probably be up in the agents section. I mean, Freedom's probably the biggest one I've got. Freedom is it's my personal business partner, AI business partner, and it's constantly linked to my laptop when it's on. And it has full business partner agentic capabilities. It's self-learning. It's natural voice back and forth. And if, for instance, I'm out and I'm talking to a potential client who needs an AI function built or an AI agent built, I can pull up Freedom and it's got wake words. I say, Freedom, it's Adam. And here's the description of the discussion we're having. Go find a couple of best paths, and then it will launch the new build agent, populate it, and then we can move forward from there. So this isn't a big advertisement thing. I just fill in space. Here we go. This one has local data, docs, apps, packages, because it's got a machine-based section. It's got an app up on my phone, or you can use it on tablet. Right now it's only for Android, and quite frankly it's only for my use. It's got Supabase in behind it. It's got agents, automation, workspace docs. Terrific. Now let's see this. This strikes me as it's going to be a rather big one. I'm kind of showing you this on the fly because as I've been building this out and been gold plating it a little bit, it just grew legs. And so right now, while we're recording this, I'm testing some of the features as we go. I'll give you a quick discussion of why I didn't need Obsidian for this. Back to the statements I started with is, like, we have to understand what Obsidian is genuinely good at first. It's a fantastic place for handwritten knowledge, design notes, meeting notes, records, the whole 9 yards. So it does work and function very well as a business layer. So it would probably be an easier patch or an easier layer to throw in rather than me building this into the business knowledge thing. But as you will learn as you follow this channel, like, subscribe, share it with friends, I am not one to take the easy road. But I love the idea that more is fantastic, but less is more. So I'll take the long road, build things out more with minimal layers. One of the main tenets of the coding portion is that the code needs to be the least amount of code to get the strongest and most effective outcome. All right, anyway, I digress. So when you look at the job it's doing in this chain for us, well, Obsidian not doing it, but what it would be, it's the aggregation layer, the single place to query across repos. And oh, look at you. That does look busy, doesn't it? Awesome. So basically, it's, as I said, the aggregate layer. Obsidian's graph is a visual, force-directed view of wiki links between markdown notes. It's not really, as far as I can tell, and I love it if somebody could comment, it's not a queryable graph. There's no graph API that hands an agent a scoped subgraph graph. The Obsidian team has said as much. The graph view is a picture for humans, not an interface for machines. As I get closer to closing this, I do want to show you a little bit here in this one because this one's exceptionally busy. And as I said, it's really busy because it has so many moving parts and so many things for it to keep organized, I guess. So let's wheel into the automation part here and see what we've got. Governance scripts, perfect. With something like this, if you didn't include governance, you would be in so much trouble. And you can see this one is very Supabase heavy. I have Supabase running tables in behind. That's where it's storing information, it's storing learning, it's storing, when it has to work offline, the phone option works offline, and it stores, I'll clarify offline. By offline, I mean not connected to the Freedom engine. But if you look in here, docs, there's thousands maybe? Certainly a lot. They all kind of converge there. A lot of them anyway. Changelog, yeah, that makes sense. That would be where you're busiest. And then root, you can see that you've got a fairly active script. Again, makes perfect sense. When you go through here, and I'll go back to the command. Sorry, the ask. Again, AI, I'm not going to bother you with that one. Let's see what recommendations come out of this one. It's still the same. Okay, cool. Something for me to figure out and work on is that. I'm going to close this up now. Let me know what you think. Does it, in your uses, replace the need for the Obsidian layer? Did it miss the mark on what you intend Obsidian to do? The intent was never to not include Obsidian. It's just as I watched some of the really amazing builds that have stacked Obsidian in there with Graphify, I thought, hey, I think mine's doing that. I'm not 100% sure. So then I started going down the rabbit hole, and as I said, I tend to bolt on. Everybody loves good sets, good extras, good bolt-ons. I'd love to hear what you think. And for, that's what I was going to do. You can go to my GitHub. I'll put it on there. This one is free. I want everybody to download it. MIT license. Still don't actually know what the GitHub licenses mean. And yes, I know how that sounds. I should probably figure it out. Make use of it. Modify it. If you like it, hit a star. Maybe leave a message saying, I used it and I improved it with this. Or I used it and it made everything I need happen. I'd love to hear that. I'm in it to help. So, thank you all very much and have a great day.